Good morning. Warren County Fiscal Court's now called to order Thursday, July 11th at 9 a.m. roughly. Take care of a few things. It's all right. Hey, we're pleased to have Pastor Brennan Washington with City Light Church is here this morning. He's going to lead us in invocation. It's going to be followed by a pledge to the flag by Magistrate Rick Williams.
Let us pray. Lord, we thank you for this day, this wonderful, beautiful day you've given us. God, we thank you for every single person that's here represented today. Thank you for creating us and making us with giftings and personalities, Lord. We just pray that we would use them to honor you and glorify you in everything we do and say today. God, we thank you for your son, Jesus, and what he did for all of us. And it's in his name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor. For those that are able, please stand and face the flag and join me in saluting our nation's flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor Washington. Thank you. Appreciate that greatly. Clerk, please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Here.
Esquire Aldridge.
Here.
Esquire Lasley.
Here.
Esquire Cummings.
Here.
Esquire Williams.
Here.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am. First item is approved minutes of the fiscal court meeting on June 25th, 2024. Some motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Lasley. Any corrections? If not, please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am. Item 5 is approve the personnel changes for Warren County.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire McWhorter. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am. Item 6, approve the work schedule for the Warren County Road Department. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Cummings. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Okay, we'll take a short break. At this time, we've got a special presentation. We've got Talia Butler, Karen Foley, Tessa Norris, Emily Angel. Are all four of you speaking today? Oh, thank goodness. No, I'm playing, of course. Great friends of ours and great friends of the community. We're going to get a little recap on the very successful Duncan Hines days. Ladies?
Thank you all very much for having us. Before we begin, I just want to thank you all for all of the support that you all lended to this event. The staff, the things. I'm so short. I gotta get this right.
You need a stool?
Thank you, Rick. Thank you. So, did anyone attend Duncan Hines Days this year? Yes. Okay, good to see a few in the room. My name is Talia Butler, and I am Downtown Development Coordinator for the City of Bowling Green.
I am Tessa Norris. I've been the events coordinator at Soki Marketplace for the past 6 years, and I'm the current interim director of Soki Marketplace.
And in the Downtown Development Division with the city, we work very closely with Tessa at Soki and with many of your staff in the county as well to put on some amazing community event programming. I am with the Department of Neighborhood and Community Services with the city. That's Miss Karen Foley and Emily Angel that also work with me in that department. And we've got a bit of a recap for you all from this year's Duncan Hines Days. It was the first week of June, and the idea behind Duncan Hines Days is not just to celebrate the legacy of Duncan, the real man behind the mix, but also to create a signature Bowling Green event that offers a seat for everybody at the community table and opportunities for everyone's interests to be represented at events throughout the week.
So you're going to see a lot of numbers today, and those are important. I want you to understand the engagement that we had with the community as well as the economic impact. But what I want us to really understand when we're looking at these numbers is that while we may all have different goals in this room, I think we can all agree we have the same vision, and that's to make Warren County the best place to live and work. And these community events are a component of that. We have seen and gotten feedback from our community that these make this place so great to live. And when people come to these events from out of town, they go, I want to live in Warren County. I want to bring my business to Warren County because of these events.
And as Tessa already laid the pathway for, you all can see from the slide here, for that first week of June this year, in just 7 days, there were 15 Bowling Green events hosted throughout the week with Duncan Hines themes. Now, these were not just city-county events, these were also private attraction events, and we encouraged everyone in the community to take their own twist on this event and put together their own event to celebrate for this week. We had over 20 Restaurant Week participants, that is food trucks and brick and mortar restaurants, not just in Bowling Green, but in the surrounding counties as well, since we made this into a regional event as well. And we had over 50 community partners and organizations for this week putting this on, plus the help of over 30 sponsors, including you all. And new this year was a donation from the actual Duncan Hines brand through Conagra Companies. They gave us 6,000 boxes of baking mixes, a mix of brownies and cakes, to give away throughout the entire week at all of these events. So our community got a true taste of the Duncan Hines brand as well. Firstly, these are a list of the attractions that hosted events throughout the week. You see a lot of the major players and heavy hitters: Kentucky Museum, Corvette Museum, Rail Park, and Unseen Bowling Green and Trolley, the Capitol and the Ballpark. And all of these hospitality and tourism-driven, privately hosted events were put on by these individual organizations, but promoted by us through the Duncan Hines Days website and social media, and you'll see over 800 minutes of airtime between radio and TV we were able to get for all of these promotions. And for the city-county coordinated events, these were everything that all of our people and your people worked so hard to put together. The water park event was brand new this year with over 1,200 people. We had a pickleball social in the middle of the week on a Wednesday morning, and over 100 people showed up to play. And Duncan's Duck Paddle Race and Regatta, major kudos to the county parks, Bike Walk, Bowling Green, and Alvaton and Browning fire departments, because they, at the very last minute, within 48 hours, helped us move the event from Barren River to Drakes Creek and Trammell, and stormwater as well. Stormwater folks were very integral with that. We had 200 people at that event, which was double what we had last year already. It's fantastic turnout. And the two big days of Duncan Hines Days were the downtown kickoff party on the Friday, followed by the Eats and Beats Music Fest at Circus Square that weekend. We got this 15,000 people number from a special device collection software that one of our mentors kindly gave us access to that counts the number of devices within a certain geo-fenced area. So we put a fence around Circus Square and Fountain Square in Soki and managed to get this number. And keep in mind, like Tessa said, all of these people that are visiting from out of town also spend money in Bowling Green on lodging, gas, retail, meals, along with attending our events. One of the things we wanted to touch on is all of these partners that put on Duncan Hines also put on two other major downtown events throughout the year. If you have not been to the Harvest Festival every October, it activates both Fountain and Circus Square Parks, Soki Marketplace, the Capitol and Capitol Alley, and Heritage Trail. And Heritage Trail connects Fountain Square to Circus Square and is that sidewalk that continues past Capitol Alley behind the chamber. We are working with all of those partners that you see on the screen, and we were able to use that same device-driven attendance with one of our mentors to figure out that we were estimating about 9,000 people showed up in 2022, but in 2023 there were 19,000 new user devices counted within that space throughout the day. It is a wonderful event that is free for the family and for the community, and we know that it could not happen without all of those people you see on the screen, and you all are a very integral part of that. This is Harvest Fest photos. We've got Circus Square, Midway Carnival, the famous pumpkin drop that the fire department puts on at Circus Square, where they drop the biggest pumpkins we can find directly from on top of one of the engines and make a big splash. And Soki Market is integral in Harvest Festival. Soki actually schedules all of the food truck vendors, all of the drink vendors, and all of the craft vendors using its master list. Do you want to share any more about how that works?
Yeah, these events, and especially Duncan Hines Days, is really a culmination of the groundwork that has been laid in partnership with the city and county. These events are not a city event, and they are not a county event. These are city-county events, and they only take place at the integrity that they do because of this partnership. I want to note here, too, that post-tornado, I worked as a risk reduction consultant for the American Red Cross in Warren County. And what the Red Cross saw was that because of the partnership and collaboration that the city and county had on these previous events, that made response and recovery so seamless and honestly like something they had never seen in another community. And it's really this groundwork we're laying in these events that put in infrastructure and put in this partnership. So these events are really showcasing that collaboration that goes together in those.
The other major big event, downtown, city-county driven, is Downtown Lights Up. It is every first Friday of December, once again activating all of those spaces together at the same time, offering free programming. You see, we have even more partners for this event than for Harvest Festival even, and you can see the estimated number of attendees versus the device-driven amounts we were able to track last year. And this group also was the core group that created Light Up BGKY, last year's inaugural event between Black Friday and the Christmas parade that had about 15 different community lightings. And that is returning once again this year, December 2nd through the 8th. We just met about it this week. But this core group puts together not just Duncan Hines Days and Harvest Fest, but also Lights Up and Light Up BGKY.
So we call this 240% and then the 111% that you saw with Harvest Festival, the Duncan Hines Days effect. So we had that increase in growth because of what Duncan Hines put in place. And it's not just the getting it out there to the community that we're doing these events, it's again that investment in the infrastructure and the partnership.
Just for fun, I included photos from Lights Up, and I had a beautiful aerial shot where you all can see the courthouse in red and green lit up back there. We had a professional photographer take shots at all of these events last year to show more about what the community looks like and provide a visual to it. The Mistletoe Market down at the bottom right is at Soki. It's a major craft vendor and art vendor fair on the Friday and Saturday of the Light Up week. And the Capitol also showed the Grinch, and they always do, and it's wonderful. We love the Capitol and the library. Karen, you want to help us?
That's it.
Surprise, I guess
Well,
I'm talking.
get ready, Emily.
So the thing that I really like about this community, Crumbs, I don't know if you all spend a lot of time with younger people, and I know I'm running the risk of sounding, as the young people would say, cringeworthy. However, young people might say when someone does something really well or is really great at something, that they ate. They might even say they ate and left no crumbs. One of the things I want to point out here is as great as what these events are, and they're really great events. They're great for families, they're great for young people, but the thing that is even better are the crumbs that are left behind, and that is the lessons that we learn, the relationships that are tightened, and the skills that we as your staff get to exercise under blue skies when it's not an emergency, when something bad has not happened. And that training is something you can't capture how valuable that is. What Tessa said earlier about the American Red Cross and other folks coming to our community and saying, wow, you guys are really far ahead of the game post-tornado in response and recovery. I can tell you anecdotally for myself, having spent 25 years now in the role I have right now for the city of Bowling Green, The relationships working on programs and special events like Harvest Festival, like our Academy for New Americans, for our Over 50 Citizens Academy, all of these things are the things that empowered me and Emily as my partner in crime to respond efficiently and well post-tornado, more so than any training that I ever received about neighborhood watch or emergency response or disaster recovery ahead of time. Those relationships and having that skill behind us, those were the things that made us in particular very effective, because we already had relationships with neighborhood groups and community organizations and faith-based groups and folks like the library and Soki Marketplace and our peers and partners in Warren County. Those are the things that are going to serve us well, not just under blue skies, but when those skies turn gray. And so all along the way, planning for Duncan Hines Days, one of the things I have reiterated to our planners as sort of the logistics chair is that we want to walk like we want to be. And if that means we overplan, if that means we stretch ourselves, that's what we will do. Other communities, for example, Louisville, we all know there's a 2-week-long Derby Festival that leads up to the fastest 2 minutes in sports. In Bell County, where I have family, the Kentucky Mountain Laurel Festival, it's centered around a pageant, but let me tell you something. That's their point of homecoming. That's their point of reunion. I know you've been there, Amy.
Yeah, it's amazing.
We envision a time in the future when Duncan Hines Days is that family reunion time, it is that church reunion time, it is that class reunion time where we bring people home and we bring visitors in to see what is so special about this place we call Bowling Green in Warren County. That's what Duncan Hines Days is about, and that's those important crumbs. We are aspiring, we know our community is growing, and we want to walk like we want to be. We don't want to lose those connections, and it's real easy to do if you let it get away from you. Duncan Hines Days is a proactive way to retain all the best qualities that make this a wonderful place to live while we cast a vision for what we're going to be as we move forward. So that's some of the community crumbs. Thank you for letting me speak.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Karen. And just to reiterate everything Karen said, you all can see all of these bullet points on this slide show all of those crumbs left over from these discussions. We hired WKU Parking and Transportation to help us figure out a loop between downtown and campus for parking that worked great in year 1 and had double the ridership in year 2. They also helped us manage the parking structure to get people in and out quickly, and it was very, very efficient. We've got downtown parking and traffic surveys. We were able to use WKU's vision and help to work on that last summer, and we have another one scheduled in August when all of these downtown venues are active at the same time organically. We've also worked on, building a blueprint for activating these spaces all at once in other capacities. Example, the Corvette Museum this year, for its 30th anniversary caravan, is taking over the block of Circus Square and Skypack and Soki for its big caravan event, offering private events at Soki and Skypack for their Hall of Famers, but then a massive public concert, just like the Eats and Beats Music Festival at Circus Square for our people to enjoy as well. And this is what we want to see more and more of. Plus, our attractions have been phenomenal with this, with the Corvette Museum scavenger hunt, with the trolley loop, and the Unseen Bowling Green programming with the Capitol. They have been able to expand on what they offer and can continue to offer in future years as well. Do you have anything to add to this one? We have just a couple more things. The economic impact piece is very critical for this. These numbers were given to us with the aid of Chandler Thinks, which is a marketing and creative destination agency that has been mentoring me since 2012. They've done work for our Visitors Bureau, for our Corvette Museum, and were recently hired to do some work by another one of our downtown attractions. They have access to this economic impact calculator and to that device data. and shared that based on what a typical day trip or an overnight spend is in Bowling Green, based on the event attendance that we were able to track, we're looking at about $2.96 million brought into our economy from all of these visitors. And I'm happy to elaborate more on that for you all if anyone has any questions later. But the pros put this together for us, and they've got over a 20-year history and love for Bowling Green in many ways. And we look forward to seeing how this grows in the future. We also used Bowling Green's Crowd South to do our social media campaigns for this, and they brought our impressions up 16% and engagement up over 2,000% year over year, showing that visual image of Bowling Green and Warren County for Duncan Hines Days for the few months leading up to the festival. A lot of these numbers are social media jargon, but let's just say that they were absolutely incredible year over year, and people are really latching onto this and making it their own. And we also had over 20,000 visitors examine our Duncan Hines website, with 10,000 of them being during the week itself, based on what our analytics can show. People are utilizing the site and utilizing ways to come and interact in Bowling Green. And we could not have told these stories without all of our local media. These guys are amazing. We had over 40 interviews across these people for this event. And when I say we, it was myself, Tessa, Karen, Andrea at Stormwater, Ryan at Parks and Rec, Leah at Parks and Rec, everyone from city and county joined in all of these things. And we thank our local media for that. And we tracked it, and there's a lot, but here's a rough outline. We had over 8 million digital impressions online because we also got the CVB to pitch in and help. They landed us Atlanta and Tennessee and Ohio media for this as well. We had over 800 minutes of airtime on radio and TV promoting Bowling Green and Duncan Hines. And if you missed Kentucky Monthly in May, it was their food issue, and we were on the cover. We had a massive, massive story in there, and with over 500,000 in print circulation. And coming soon, American Dream TV is going to air a special segment on Duncan Hines Days with Sam Bush that they filmed during Eats and Beats Days. And we look forward to seeing that. I think it's going to air in August. And here's just the overall look at it. This year, over 17,000 people from at least 18 states, and that economic impact. So mark your calendars for June 2nd through the 8th, 2025. That will be year 3 of Duncan Hines Days in Bowling Green. And I put together just a couple of slides that have photos in case you all missed it. We've got the wonderful Uncle Duncan Summer Stroll and Roll Parade that was a walking parade and biking parade on without motors downtown, along with a wonderful car show that Kevin Kirby and his Cruisin' for a Cure folks helped put together as well. That had a great turnout. We filled the entire square with vintage cars. These are Uncle Duncan's duck paddle race and regatta photos from Drake's Creek and Trammell Creek. Again, thank you to County Stormwater and County Parks and your county volunteer fire departments for that. And this was the Eats and Beats Music Fest at Circus Square. You all notice the stage is on the corner instead of in the center over the fountain. We keep the fountain alive and active so that kids can play the way the park was designed for. And in this way, we also added extra lights and beautiful sound and stage to really bring the park to life in new ways. And I know you all can't see it from here, but there's 4 giant canvases in the back of the park that was a community art mural where kids were painting throughout the day and getting engaged with arts and culture. And of course, there's Sam Bush and Kenny Lee killing it on the stage. You all missed a great show. This was at Soki. We had a Dolly Parton impersonator come up from Nashville once again. Natasha Neely has a long Bowling Green tie. Her family all went to WKU, and she's from Owensboro, and she's a real sweetheart. And she's been a Dolly impersonator for 20 years, and she put on a great free show at Soki for the public. And of course, a little more of Sam Bush, and a little more of downtown with the Fountain Square Vintage Car Show. And look, there's Emily Angel featured in the picture in the background. And I think this is the last one. We made sure that everybody got a Duncan Hines rubber duck. We're continuing the rubber duck theme from the Duncan Hines Festival of the past. And that is all that we have. Anything else?
Yeah, we just want to thank you all again. We have a lot of gratitude and appreciation for the support, whether it be financial or in kind or just telling us to keep going, because we're really passionate about telling the story of who we are as a community. We're passionate about that quality of life component, and we're passionate about this partnership with the city. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, ladies. Yes, give them a round of applause. It's a great community event, and of course, we are very pleased as Warren County to help sponsor that event and the things that we do, and it is so vitally important when people around the state wonder what the secret sauce in Bowling Green and Warren County is. A lot of that happens to be that the county and city work together on the same page. That is unique. While we take it for granted, it's extremely unique in the state, which is, to be quite honest with you, disappointing to me that other communities wouldn't be the same. But also when it comes to quality of life, because as I like to say, every community in America has jobs, schools, roads, law enforcement, jails. But what is it that you have that other than that, because I think that's what every community should have. But what they don't sometimes have is those quality of life initiatives, and that is what makes a community, so that people can spend time outside of work with their family and people that they love and make memories, and that is what's important, and that is how you also attract new citizens. And of course, we have plenty of them coming. That is not going to stop, and so we have to have these. But what I love about this event is, as you mentioned, Karen and Talia and Tessa, Emily, thanks for being here. But as you mentioned, it is that nostalgia. It brings back a great piece of Americana that we can share with the entire country, and so we're pleased to do that. And if any of you have younger people and you don't quite understand them, speak to Karen, and she can translate for you their language and lingo. That's good. I had no idea, Karen, but I'm glad you know that stuff. So thank you again for that presentation. And the Sam Bush concert was fantastic, so that's awesome to have them right here. Any questions for this group of ladies? Great. Again, thank you so much for the presentation. Fantastic effort there. So in our budget already, but we do it in arrears, so that's fine. So item 7, approved determination the amount of $25,000 in the Skokie Marketplace for the sponsorship of Duncan Hines Days to assist with the production, safety, and logistics. Motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Williams. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence?
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge?
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley?
Yes.
Esquire Cummings?
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams?
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter?
Yes, ma'am.
That was close. Okay. Now we're good. All right. Thank you all so very much. We appreciate that. Appreciate your attendance too. Item 8 is approved determination amount of $4,676.31 to Barron County Business Supply for the purchase of office furniture for a Parks Operation Pride liaison employee at Public Works. This will be paid for by Public Works at the state price contract. Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Aldridge. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence?
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge?
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley?
Yes.
Esquire Cummings?
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams?
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter?
Yes, ma'am.
Item 9 is authorize judge executive to execute grant of temporary easement to the Kentucky Department of Transportation pursuant to Resolution 2419, and this was due to a clerical error on DOT's part. Motion by Squire Lasley, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence?
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge?
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley?
Yes.
Esquire Cummings?
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams?
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter?
Yes.
Item 10 is approved determination in the amount of $4,450 to Newcastle Fence for construction of fencing at the boundary of Fillmore Park. 3 quotes were obtained. This was the lowest and best. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Cummings. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence?
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge?
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley?
Yes.
Esquire Cummings?
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams?
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter?
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence?
Yes.
Item 11 is approve the June 211 report. Motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Lasley. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 12 is make part of the record the Warren County Regional Jail Canteen Account Statement for May 2024. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Williams. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 13 is approved determination in the amount of $5,471.75 to EFI for guardrail replacement on Iron Bridge Road. This is a single source vendor and has no cost to the county. This was insurance reimbursed. Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Aldridge. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 14 is approve emergency determination in the amount of $2,867.32 to South Central Kentucky Heating and Cooling for replacement of the air conditioning unit in the property room at the Warren County Regional Jail. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 15 is approve the Kentucky Department of Corrections Jail and Restricted Custody Center inspection report for May 7th, 2024. 3 items at the jail required a corrective action plan. The Restricted Custody Center had no items requiring corrective action. Jailer?
Couple of remarks about the inspection. This is a twice-a-year Department of Corrections inspection where they spend all day with us and they go through every square inch of the building. 55,000 square feet. They touch they flush every toilet. They turn on every hot and cold water. They look at every vent with a flashlight in the entire building. When it says 3 areas of corrective action, I want to explain a little bit. One of those is something that we're very familiar with, and that's being overcrowded. There was a whole host of housing areas that were overcrowded. That's no surprise. The second thing that they found, and we've been working over the last couple of years to correct, is any piece of hardware, any vent cover, any mirror that's put on with hardware has to be security screw. And so we've been replacing that. It's extremely expensive to buy those in bulk, but we've been doing that, so that's an area of corrective action. And some of those are, you have to get on a ladder to get to. An inmate can't even reach those. So I wanted to explain that. And then of every sink and toilet combination unit in the entire building, there was 1 cell that has 2 sink toilet combos, and one of them didn't flush properly, which had not been reported on that morning's head count by the inmates that live in that area. So I want to give a huge shout out to the staff for all of their work, the maintenance staff, the security staff, that keep everything in compliance with the state standards.
Thank you, Jailer. I read that report. It obviously was, I always note that the overcrowding, they do like to ding us on that with no additional money to fix that problem. But the other things were minor, and I know it does that, but I do appreciate the explanation because it's actually a fantastic report that you finished.
Thank
Any
you, sir.
questions for the Jailer?
Just what's the numbers?
This morning, we're at a couple under 600,
Go down a little bit.
just a little.
All
Any
right.
other questions?
Thank you, Jailer.
Thank you.
A motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Cummings. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 16 is approve the updated Warren County Personnel Policy Handbook. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Cummings. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 17 is approve first reading of ordinance 2425 WC amending ordinance 2245 relating to penalties for not obtaining a CNI franchise.
Hallelujah.
Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Williams. We have our attorney for this, Sean Alcott's, with us if there's any questions on that. But this pertains to, we do have some CNI customers that are not compliant with what our ordinance says, and it gives us the ability to impose a fine on that. Any discussion? Okay. Please call roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
ma'am.
Item 18 is approved wellness program renewal with Integrated Corporate Wellness Solutions through June 30th, 2025 in the amount of $17,980. Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Aldridge. Discussion or questions? Thank you, Lacey, for the hard work on that. Please call roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
ma'am.
Item 19 is approved determination amount of $3,296.50 to Cornerstone Information Systems for the renewal of maintenance contract with IBM for the AS400 server in the Treasurer's Office. This is a single source vendor. Motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Williams. Hopefully we're not going to have any questions about why we're still using AS400, but that's what we have right now. So, all right, please call the roll. It's my
Esquire
editorial
Lawrence.
comment.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes,
Esquire
ma'am.
Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 20 is approved determination in the amount of $52,250 to Flock for the purchase and installation of 13 Falcon ALPR systems with an annual contract renewal in the amount of $39,000 per year after year one. The system provides law enforcement with information to advance criminal investigations, including stolen property, school safety, and park security. This is a single source vendor. And I've asked Todd and Tommy to be here if there's any questions on that system. Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire McWhorter. This will assist Drug Task Force, our Sheriff's Department, and actually our parks and our school system. So it's a great investment for the county to do. All right, please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Treasurer, please report the claims.
General Fund, $2,507,647. Road Fund, $494,106. Jail Fund, $636,501. Stormwater Fund, $127,345. LGEA Fund, $11,250. E911 Fund, $14,420. And Fed Forfeiture Fund, $1,210. Be happy to answer any questions.
Motion to pay our claims.
Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire McWhorter. Please call the roll.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Sheriff Hightower.
Good morning, Judge, Magistrates. First, I just wanted to really thank Chris Cummer and his team for Thunderfest. It was just a fantastic event, and his staff just did an outstanding job out there with getting all the cars in. And for anybody who's inquiring minds, it took us 52 minutes to get every last car out of there. So I think we could probably shave that off a little bit, lessons learned on a couple of things, but it really, really went well. So Chris, you and your team, just want to say a fantastic job, and you all always do a great work out there, so thank you all. Also, the boys and girls junior golf tournament, it will be this coming week. So the boys tournament begins at 8 a.m. on Monday at Paul Walker. The girls is Wednesday at 8 a.m. at Paul Walker as well. And so there's still time to pick up applications for that. You can pick those up at Paul Walker, some of the other golfing centers we have in town with the city. So that's going to be an exciting event, and Tom is on the board as well, so he just makes things better anyhow. So we also have a community event in Smiths Grove this coming Tuesday, the 16th at 6 o'clock at the Volunteer Fire Department on Main. So Rex will be out there. We'll have Joe Plunk. So it's going to be sheriff hosted along with the city of Smiths Grove, and so we're just going to be talking about some kind of things within the sheriff's office, as well as we might talk about some of the traffic out there with Buc-ee's as well. So 6 o'clock that night. And then just so everybody can put this on their calendars, the Soki Fair is coming up July 22nd through the 27th. So we've been asked to help out with that event this year. The sheriff's office has. So we will be out there and really excited about that as well. So come on out and bring your families. All right, that's all I have, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. That's great. Lynette? Lynette?
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you very much. Jailer? Thank you, and thank you for the report, too. All right, Mr. Comer. And great job again on Thunderfest. Sheriff's Department, our Parks and Rec did a fantastic job for that. First time changing after 25 years or something at the Corvette Museum for a lot of reasons, but I think they found a new home, and that's awesome, awesome event out there. So thank you for the hard work they did. Josh, all good? All right. I'll see Holly, she's probably not on, fine. All right, Ronnie is out today, I knew that. Tommy, thank you for that. We're looking forward to getting that flock system rolling. Mr. Peterson, all good in your world? Okay, our next meeting is Thursday, July 25th. Please keep that on your schedule for sure. Squire McWhirter?
I'd like to wish the Bowling Green East Little League, they're playing in the state July 20th, and wish them the best.
Awesome.
Good team.
Yep, that's great. But wish them well. Squire Aldrich?
Thank you, Judge. I want to just take a moment and extend a thank you also to our volunteer fire departments. They've been top of mind as they are with all the other magistrates in the court itself as we've been looking at the study and making decisions. But I'd ask them if they could give me just a brief update of how many calls for service they've made in the last 2 weeks since our last court. Because when you look at that study, the sheer number of calls they made. So just a quick update. So I thought I would just bring that to recognition, and as you see any of our volunteer fire department personnel, thank them. But they've made just under 200 calls just in these last 2 weeks. Of those, a quick breakdown, 95 have been medical runs. There have been 11 calls for a structure fire or vehicle fires, and then 30 calls just as a quick breakdown of just vehicle accidents. And if we look at that, that's more than almost 14 calls per day that our volunteer fire departments are responding to, about every hour and 45 minutes. They are dropping what they're doing and making that call. So as the court has lots of work with the chiefs and looking at what Warren County Fire Services look like in the future and how we support them, I just want to give that quick update and let folks know what that looks like.
That's great. Great information. Squire Cummings?
I'm pretty easy today. I do want to recognize Doc Kalen's birthday is coming up on the 13th. And then on Saturday, August the 10th, out in Boyce, the annual Woodburn Ballpark, they're having our ice cream social and so forth for them. And it's always a big time. Come out there, there'll be lots of stuff, lots of food trucks and so forth. But that's one or two things I got today.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Squire Williams?
Judge, want to shout out to our sheriff, Brett Hightower, for being our one of our guest speakers at the Rotary meeting this week. He and Bowling Green Police Department Delaney spoke about the new drop-in clinic that's coming, and also talked about the impact of mental health issues and homelessness in our community. And it very eye-opening statistics. Was also privileged to have my oldest grandson with me on Wednesday, and Sheriff Hightower was gracious enough to spend a little time with him. So
That's awesome.
Thank you, Brett. Appreciate it.
That's great. That's awesome. Squire Lawrence?
Yeah, Judge, I just mentioned one more thing. The sheriff and Standing, they've both been working hard on the junior golf thing. And for the youngest children out there between 6 and 10, they'll be having a putting competition on the 17th. So I'd like to invite all them out to come.
Yeah, that's great. It is a great event. So, Squire Lashley?
Yeah, I'd just like to give special thanks to the Roads Department, Public Works, Parks employees, all those that work outside. We complain about how hot it is, but those are the folks that are getting up early and working in the heat. And this weekend's going to be even hotter, so hope everybody's taking care and make sure they get enough water and all that. And it's appreciated because that's what really keeps the county going.
Yep. Great comments. Mr. Treasurer?
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. Ms. Chandler? Thank you. Ms. Cummings?
Thank you, Judge.
Sure, you're good. Deputy Judge Downing is in Frankfurt right now. The governor here in about an hour will make an announcement about a affordable housing initiative they've done and a grant that's been given to the Housing Authority of Bowling Green. He's making that presentation, so we sent Deputy Judge Downing up there on behalf of Warren County, and so that'll be coming up here in about an hour. So we're excited about that too. A great over a $4 million grant for more housing coming to Warren County, so that's good. I should mention that the Warren County Sheriff's Foundation has their gala coming up, and it's September 14th, 2024. It's at La Gala. It's a fantastic organization. This is a private organization foundation that helps with securing other equipment and things for the Sheriff's Department, but it's a great time from 6 to 10 that night. So please, you can check that out, but that is, mark your calendar, September 14th for that as well. You mentioned Doc Kalin, just to give you a heads up. So Doc had a pretty serious surgery and had a significant part of one of his legs removed, but he's doing better. And I can just tell you, if you're driving past his house and the garage is open, he's in the garage working, he would love to see you. If the garage is closed, do not stop by. That's it, it's pretty easy. But I saw him the other day, and that's his deal, so he still works out there. An unbelievable upbeat attitude. Nothing can get that guy down, so he's doing great. We need all the prayers of this entire community for Todd Young. He's got making a trip to Iowa next month, and such an important piece of our community, and so we want to be in prayer for Todd as he goes through surgery. I'm sure that's some HIPAA violation, but I really don't care, and so, but please be with him as he does that. Yes, sir.
I forgot one thing. The International Soapbox Derby World Championships are next week. We have obviously two local racers, three local racers technically are representing us up there and that thing. So it'll, not this weekend, but next Saturday it'll be.
That's right. They're in Akron. Again, no one's happier that they're going to Akron and our family's not. So that is tremendous. I know Gracie came in second place. It's best day of our lives. But we're happy for those soapbox derby. Imagine a week in Akron in July. It's like, but it's going to be great for them. I'm serious, kind of. But we are excited for them to be up there. Excited to be up there. And we hope that they do well. So we do have three youngsters from our area going up there, which is great. Let's see. Again, I mentioned that next fiscal court meeting. I just hope everyone stays safe. We do have some heat coming our way. I know it's been here, but we have a lot more of it coming, so please stay safe out there. Our next meeting is that Thursday, July 25th. If there's nothing else to come before the court, we have a motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire McWhirter, and yes. Mr. Taylor, we're going to meet with you after court, or we're meeting with you now?
We've got that worked on, so I want to thank everybody concerned that took care of it, and I'd like to publicly thank my other magistrate for coming out and getting a wind-damaged tree that was on county property that almost took out a fence that was going to take it down. He met me in the rain on a Saturday, and I really appreciate it. And I appreciate the others working on the other concern.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Yeah, I thought we were meeting right afterwards, but I'm the last to know, so that's good. Well, but thank you. No, I'm playing. They got taken care of. That's what I like to hear. So thank you for coming too. It's always good to see you too. Thank you. All right, and with that, we are adjourned.